Today, unfortunately, the masajid have become only places of the 5 salats. And then in some places, they're even locked after the salats. This is a tragedy, a big tragedy. The masajids were meant to be used to their full capacity. It's almost like buying a microwave that has 200 features, and all you use it for is to warm up your tea for 30 minutes or 30 seconds. Sure, that's one of the uses of it. But why get such an expensive microwave that has 200 different options when you're only using one little option of it? Similarly, our masajid all across Ontario, actually all across Canada, are sitting empty. From Fajr until 5 o'clock. From Fajr until 5 o'clock, you can pick any masjid all across Ontario, all across Canada, and they're sitting empty. You have some old chachas who come for Zohar Salat, some old individuals who come for Zohar Salat, and then apart from that, then the evening maktab program begins. And even the evening maktab program generally runs for about 2 hours in the evening, maybe from 5 to 7, 5:30 to 7:30, and then that's it. And some masjids even don't do that. All they're doing is a Sunday school or Saturday school. The heating is being paid, the electricity is being paid, the water is being paid, the rent is being paid. Some of the buildings are fully paid off even, and the masjids are sitting empty. We have begun to make a concern with the communities that are around the masjid and say that just like maktab is our need, similarly, our children's educational needs are also our need. It is not that we should go to the masjid to learn deen and we should go to the non-believers to learn our dunya. If our masajid are so incapable to teach us what it takes to be able to earn a halal livelihood, then all the masjids have failed. All the masjids have failed. Because, my beloved and respected listeners, it is a command of Allah and it is a fariḍah. طَلَبُ كَسْبِ الْحَلَالِ فَرِيضَةٌ بَعْدَ الْفَرَائِضِ. To learn and acquire the tools of earning a halal livelihood is a command of Allah. Fariḍah is a command of Allah. بعد الفرائض, of course, in sequence after other commands of Allah. How can somebody say that the masjid is not a place to teach these things? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. How can someone say masjid is not a place to learn language, for example? When Allah says, I sent every Nabi and made sure he knew the language of the people of the country he lived in. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا مِن رَسُولٍ إِلَّا بِلِسَانِ قَوْمِهِ. And we say, no, masjid only teach Quran, Aqidah, Fiqh, Sirah, Akhlaq, and English and language. Ye masjid ka mawzu nahi hai. Ye bedeen hai. Ye to dunyadari hai. Astaghfirullah al-azim ad-dunyadari. Where did we come up with this dunyadari? Learning the language of the country of the people we live in so that we can articulate and communicate and earn a halal livelihood is a part of deen, and that should be learned inside the masjid. How can someone say learning math is not a part of deen? How can someone say learning math is not a part of deen? How will we understand the masail of zakat without knowing math? How will you understand the masail of mirath, inheritance, fractions, and percentages and ratios without knowing math? And someone says learning math is dunyadari, shouldn't be done inside the masjid? How? The greatest mathematicians were Muslims. And where did they learn that math? In the masajid of Spain. In the masajid of Spain is where they learned that. Math was meant to be learned in the masjid. Language was meant to be learned in the masjid. And how can someone say knowledge of our body and knowledge of our universe is bedini? Allahu Akbar. When Allah says, وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ, Allah says you should ponder on the creation of yourself, the whole system of the human body, the biology, the cells, the division, and all of the biology related to this. And someone says, this is dunya dari. Astaghfirullah. Learning about our universe. Allah says that you should ponder over the خلق السماوات والأرض لآيات لأولي الألباب. That is why, my beloved and respected friends, we have been requesting the managements of the masajid to reconsider what is their understanding of deen. And maktab is not the only need of the community. And definitely 5 times salat is not the only need of the community. The need of the community today is that every empty masjid that is paid for by me and you, we paid for those masjids. We donated to those masjids. We are paying the rent for those masjids. We're paying the heating and hydro for those masjids that are sitting empty. And who's using it? Nobody. And our children are. That is why we have been requesting every masjid and musalla, as much as they understand that running a maktab is a part of a need, it's not something extra and above. Anybody who's running a masjid knows, I have a maktab also. Masjid, maktab, they go hand in hand. We have seen by our observation, and like the brother introduced himself, he's been here since the 1960s, and another brother says he's been here since 50 years. I might as well just say, we've been here in Canada since 1505. In 1565, my great-great-grandfather, Thomas Willett, was the first mayor of New York City. Canada is my home. America is my home. This is us. So my beloved and respected friends, it's not about that, we're just going to go back home or we're going to, this, we have to figure it out. And my beloved and respected friends, we are so thankful to the government of Ontario. May Allah bless them, may Allah reward the government of Ontario so much. They have made establishing an Islamic school in the masajid easy, like this. You know what it takes to establish Islamic school in your local masjid? Your local masjid, wherever your local masjid is. All your local masjid has to do to establish an Islamic school this September. Your local masjid or musalla, wherever you live, anywhere in Ontario, your local masjid and musalla, what they have to do to establish an Islamic school this September, if they want, number 1, they need to make sure that you have 5 children over the age of 6. Allahu Akbar. Does that sound difficult? How many children? 5 children over the age of 6. Do you think your masjid and musalla can achieve that? Raise your hand. Easily. Your masjid musalla can achieve that. And people say fees. Islamic schools so expensive. Yeah, an Islamic school will be super expensive if you buy a big building and run it in a huge big facility and try to run that kind of a school. But if you get rid of all the overheads, your only expense is the salaries of the teachers. And I tell you, my respected brothers, and especially my sisters, in our Muslim communities surrounding our masajid, you know how many intelligent, very, very intelligent sisters we have in our communities that have done degrees back home, wherever they came from? They may not have gone to teachers' college here in Ontario, but they are smart people. They have masters, they have degrees, they have diplomas, maybe from India, maybe from Arabia, maybe from Bangladesh, maybe from Pakistan, maybe from whichever country they came from. They are smart ladies and they're living around our masjid. And because of their religious inclination, their husbands do not want them going out and teaching in other settings. And they're not the main breadwinners of their home. So they are happy and satisfied to do the service of deen and the khidmat of deen and to help out the masjid and to help out the community at a much, much less than what it would. And may Allah reward our ladies for that. May Allah reward the sisters for that. May Allah bless the Muslim sisters of our community who have that love for their children and the children of the other people in the community. And like this, my beloved and respected friends, 5 children The first thing, 5 children over the age of 6. Number 2, you need to have somebody who you designate as a principal. Anybody, Tom, Dick, Harry, Ahmad, Bakar, Zaid, Jill, Sally, Bob, Sarah, Layla, anybody. You pick anyone. And they should be familiar with the education system. They don't have to have any specific qualifications. Somebody who's familiar with the system, and we will train them, educate them on what it means to teach in Ontario. One person you designate as a principal. That's it. So she or he will be the principal. That's it. The ministry is not going to ask, show me your degree. No, the ministry is not interested. The ministry will not ask which school you studied in, where did you, the ministry will never ask that. The ministry, till today, we've started 12 schools in Ontario. Ministry till today has not asked me directly, where did you go to school? Till today, they've not asked me, where did you go to school? But when I left the room, they asked somebody, where did you go to school? But they didn't ask me directly. Never, they can't. So one person you designate as a principal. Number 3, you make an attendance register. What does that mean? A duotang with an Excel spreadsheet. One sheet for September, one sheet for October, one sheet for November, and a spreadsheet with the students' names, A for absent, P for present, or a tick mark for present. Where's my attendance register? This is my attendance register. The ministry says, oh, this is where you take the attendance of your students? Yeah, this is where I take the attendance of my students. Okay, good. That's it. You have 5 children over the age of 6. You have a person who you've designated as the principal. You have an attendance register, which is your duotang with your spreadsheets. The ministry wants to know, what are you going to teach them? And we're going to teach them the Ontario curriculum. And the Ontario curriculum, my friends, is just a set of expectations. By the end of grade 1 in math, the child should know this. By the end of grade 2 in math, the child should know this. And these are just PDF documents. You say, we're going to be using these curriculums. And it's totally up to you as a parent, as a teacher. You choose how much of it you want to implement. And the ministry does not care what resources you use. They do not impose any resources on you. They will never tell you, you have to use these textbooks and these. No, they don't. They say, I'm teaching this is the curriculum I'm using. Okay, very good. Okay, so you tell them, I'm teaching the Ontario curriculum. These are the PDF documents that I'm using. Number 4 or 5, are you going to be issuing report cards? Yeah. I'm going to be giving a progress report in the end of October, a first term report card in March, and a second term report card in the end of June. And the templates for those report cards are given to you on the Ministry of Education's website. You just download it. It's an Excel spreadsheet. You get somebody who's IT savvy to be able to, make the cells populatable so that you can populate the cells. That's it. You have your report card. You have 5 kids over the age of 6. You have a designated principal. You have the attendance register. You have your curriculum that you're going to be using. You have your report card templates. They want to know, who are your teachers? These are my teachers. This person, this person, this person. They are not interested in the qualification of your teachers. Ministry is not interested in the qualification of your teachers. All they want to know is that you as a principal, are you satisfied that they will be able to teach the children that are going to come to school? Yeah. And then you select your teachers based on what your criteria is. Our criteria in all our schools is they should be able to speak English without an accent. They should be able to speak English without an accent. And they should have some familiarity with the Ontario system, background and education. That's it. They should know and they should be willing to learn. They should be able to speak English without an accent. They should be familiar with the school system, have some, diploma or something that shows that they've been to school, and they should be willing to learn because we're going to be teaching them, training them. Now, what's your classroom look like? Oh, Allahu Akbar. The ministry doesn't care what kind of chairs you sit on. They don't care what kind of tables you use. They are not interested in your smart boards. I swear to God, they're not. The ministry, even if you come, I tell you, when our school, Khairul Maulana Asif is here, when the high school inspection happened at his school, Khairul in Scarborough, the Ministry of Education, at that time, we were very low on resources. We were using the, partlas, the partla, what they call the Quran benches, the maktab Quran benches. The maktab Quran benches, that's what we're using, a whiteboard on the wall, and we didn't have any extra chairs or tables in the building. The ministry inspector, what he sat on? An upside down milk crate. I still remember the color, it was green. A green milk crate. And he sat and he did his inspection sitting on an upside down milk crate. And after the inspection, he came to the office and he said, I have inspected about 20 other schools here in the GTA. He said, I wish you would train and prepare the other teachers of these schools the way you've prepared these teachers. I am so satisfied, and he gave them approval for 2 years, which is the maximum you can get at a time. The ministry doesn't care about your tables and chairs, your expensive smart boards, and your expensive school desks. You can run the way you do maktab. You know how maktab happens in the masjid? How many of you have seen a maktab in the masjid? What do the kids sit on? Tables and chairs? Not usually. They sit on the floor and they use a bench. If you can learn Quran, if you can learn hadith, if you can learn akhlaq, aqidah, fiqh, and sirat sitting on the floor, why can you not learn English and math sitting on the floor? Is English and math better? Or is Quran less? Or is there a difference in learning? No, we don't believe there is. We believe that if you can teach maktab sitting on the floor, you can teach English, math, science, social studies, art, and gym also sitting on the floor. And our belief is that the smartest people in society, the greatest contributors in science and math, they actually sat on the floor. They actually sat on the floor. That is why it is our humble request to every masjid and musalla. You know how many masjid and musallas there are in Ontario? From Kingston, and just past Kingston, Cornwall, all the way up until the Windsor border, north, Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, down to the Lake Ontario. Just take a guess how many masjid musallas there are. 2,000? Oh no, that's a lot. There's actually only 275. I've counted them. I have them all plotted on the map. And I'm targeting them one by one. And inshallah, my hope, my dream, and my effort and intention is that each one of these masjid and musallas will become a school as well. And the fees will be somewhere between 150 and 225, not 500. 150 to 225 is the fees, and everybody can afford that. And if somebody cannot afford it, every masjid collects zakat also. Do you not see zakat boxes in the masjid? What do they do with that zakat? Send it to the madrasas in India, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan? Why don't they use it on the people who need it in Canada? Why don't they use it on the people who need it for subsidies, for their education? Take that zakat and apply it to those people who cannot pay the fees, so that no Muslim child should have to go to there. Because Allah says that all the people of Iman, you should be with each other. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, a person will become exactly like the people who you put him in the company of. Be very careful who you keep your children and who you keep your company with. That is why put pressure on your masjid managements. These picketing signs are more effective in front of your masjid management than they are in front of our government. Our masjid managements all across Ontario need to understand that an Islamic school in the masjid can happen. And just because they don't know how to do it, that doesn't mean they shouldn't do it. They should find out how to do it, and they should ask somebody how to do it, and they should start it. And may Allah reward. There's sisters in the Markham community also, sisters in the Pickering community also. There's people all over. They're begging the masjids. And the masjids are saying, nahi kar sakte. And even some masjids starting and then stopping also. That's why I tip my imama to Mr. Mushtaq Sab, that if the masjid says no, no problem, we'll find an alternative. Because, my respected friends, every masjid has to do it. And every masjid can do it. And you know how much it costs? Take a guess. Mushtaq, how much does it cost?
$100.
3, not 1,000, not 100,000, $300.
Yeah.
That's one dinner for my family. That's one dinner at Afi's. $300.
That's for the application fee. You have to say that.
That's the application fee. You already already have everything in your masjid. The parklas are there, the whiteboard is there, the carpet is there, the heating is there. All you gotta do is hire a few more teachers. You're already hiring a teacher for 2 hours for maktab, just hire a few more teachers to teach English, math, science, social studies. Whatever you're doing in the evening, bring it into the morning. That's it. It's so doable. For me, I hit my head on the wall and say, I don't understand why the masjids are not doing it. Every single masjid musalla should be doing it, and they should start this September. They should start, because they don't start by this September. Mr. Mushtaq is smart, he submitted his NOI before September 1st. If you don't submit your NOI before September 1st, you have to wait all the way until 2024 September. So, encourage your masajid. Don't fight with them, don't argue with them, but put pressure on them nicely. That please, this is our need. We don't feel we are being served fully. Yes, we are being served. Imam is giving dars on Sunday, tafsir dars. Very good, mashallah. But that's not our full need. Our need is our children. Especially these young parents over here now. Their children are, getting there. So let Allah help us all, inshallah. Take it, inshallah. Bas. And that's simple, it's easy, everybody can do it, inshallah. Any questions? G.
Your experience with all these schools so far, one of the concerns you mentioned that is, the government's not doing any quality control in terms of who the educators are. If somebody was to start this up on their own, what methods can you employ for quality control? Because these are going to be primary influences on your children. Ensuring that they're actually getting a proper education in that sense and whatnot. What methods can we employ?
Very good. So what we've been doing is with all of these private schools, we actually train the teachers. We make workshops with the teachers. And we work with the principals of the schools to make sure that ministry guidelines and policies are enforced in the assessment and evaluation process. So if anybody wanted, they can get in touch with us for free of cost. We don't charge anything. Like for example, Mushtaq is getting ready for an inspection. He called me. I shared my experiences with him free of cost. Look, this is what to expect in your inspection, and this is how to prepare. And don't be nervous. If they ask this question, you give this answer. If they ask this question, you give this answer. This is how you do it. So this collaboration between the schools that are running, this has been very helpful. This helping the schools within each other. G. Yes. Yeah, of course. I have multiple kids. I have 9 kids, for goodness sakes. So imagine if I were to have to pay $500 per kid. Holy crow, I'd have no shoes and clothes on here. I'd be selling my clothes on eBay. So obviously what we've done is that we've made it by putting it inside the masjid is how you make it affordable. By removing all the perks and extras. You just make it very basic again. So removing all the extras, make it simple, make it basic, and our fees do not have to be more than 150. Our fees in our schools are 150, and since 2006, our fees have been 150. We've never raised it. And if our school from our family of schools have increased it, they've gone up to 175 maybe, or 225 maximum. Yes?
Ministry, do they inspect the bathroom? Have a standard that you have to...
No. They don't look at your library, they don't look at your computer lab, they don't look at your gym, they don't look at your kitchen, they don't look at your bathroom. They only watch you as a teacher and are you doing what you said you're doing. That's it. That's the Ministry of Education. Yes?
High school.
High school is different. Yes, high school is different. High school, the Ministry of Education is more involved because that involves credits. So in high school, the teacher training is much more stringent, and that I personally do, me and Mulana Asif, we personally train the teachers to the whole assessment and evaluation process that's required for a principal to grant an Ontario credit and a secondary school diploma.
Are you still able to keep the cost low? Because
Yeah, say 150, say 150, 150. Our fees for the high school students also is 150. We don't run businesses. We're serving the community. These are our children. Yes. Yeah, just check up at ummati.ca. Yes, the sister in the back.
So, as much as I want to send my children to soccer school, I have one question.
Yes.
For example, my oldest daughter, she's a slut, right? I have two other children that are hard of hearing,
Yeah.
private. So I use a lot of resources when they're not going to public school.
Correct.
I don't know if there is, if anybody here knows, or if there is a way to get, if they need those services.
Yes.
You know, they
Yeah.
need the extra resources for those type of kids.
Correct.
They're not your average student.
Exactly.
And as much as I want to do it, I need them to be able to
Have the resources. Yeah, so parents like yourself who have the children that require those additional resources, they are kind of in that crunch in between where the Islamic schools generally cannot afford all those resources that are available in the public system.
Technically, their government provided resources.
If they don't provide them in the Islamic school or private school settings, not just this private Islamic school settings. Yes.
What does it take to pass the fire regulation to run a school?
The Ministry of Education is not interested in the fire regulation. That's a building code. So every masjid already meets the fire code. Every existing running masjid musalla already meets the zoning bylaws, and it already meets the fire code and the building code. So we don't have to worry about that. Yes?
So how is it that I was trying to open this in my basement? Can I do that?
No, because in your basement, you're not allowed to have more than 5 children. If you get 5 children or more in your basement, the municipality will come and issue a bylaw infraction saying that you are now running a school in a residential area. Yeah.
Do these private schools then get some sort of subsidy or funding from the government?
No, and we don't want a single penny from the government. When I met with the Catholic school board, I was buying furniture from them. This is going back maybe about 15 years ago. I was buying some school furniture from them. The Catholic school board deputy, I went to their head office to buy the furniture, I had to pay them over there. You know, they said to me, a long time ago, we used to be like you. We used to be practicing our religion. He said, then we made a big mistake. I said, what? He said, we took government funding. He said, the moment we took government funding, then we lost control of our schools. Now it became public. So the last thing on earth we ever want to do is take any money from the government. We want to stay away from their money. Let them use their money for their own stuff. We don't need their money, inshallah. Allah Ta'ala will take care of us.
Imam Nooruddin, it is a heartfelt appreciation from all of us here. And I've mentioned it before, but I'll give you a little bit of what happens behind the scenes. As a 16-year member of management and of the board of a masjid in Markham, I'll tell you this much. We as parents, as Muslims, we need to do a better job of having higher expectations from our masjids. So to each parent here today, if there is one takeaway, please let it be this: expect more from your masjids. Expect more from your masjids. If there is any other thing that you leave with here today, and this is me meeting with a very elderly member of the community in his 70s. He told me, Beta, son, in 10 years, I may or may not even be here. In 10 years, who knows about you? But in 10 years, your children and your children's children may not even be Muslim. Live with that. Live with that. So again, I implore all of you,